This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 517, an excerpt from the audiobook Essential, Essays by the Minimalists, by Joshua Fields Millburn and Ryan Nicodemus, and I'm Justin Malik. What's going on, Life Optimizer? Thank you for being here. If you're new here, every single day I narrate the best blogs I can find that I think will help you optimize your life. And today's actually an excerpt from the audiobook that I narrated for the Minimalists. The book is Essential, Essays by the Minimalists, which has a bunch of their blog posts organized by topic, plus bonus content. You can actually get this exact audiobook totally for free, or any of the Minimalist audiobooks that I narrated, or any audiobook if you use my link. It's oldpodcast.com/free. That'll take you to Audible, where you can do a free 30-day trial. And again, use that link to get a free audiobook that you can keep even if you cancel your trial. That's oldpodcast.com/free. And with that, let's hear 3 essays from Essential as we optimize your life. An excerpt from the audiobook Essential, Essays by the Minimalists, by Joshua Fields Millburn and Ryan Nicodemus. The Problem with Corporations, by Joshua Fields Millburn. A lot of people think I'm anti-corporation. I am not. I don't think corporations are innately bad or evil. Corporations, large ones in particular, are inherently problematic though, because their primary objective is, by definition, to make money. There's nothing wrong with bringing in revenue. I'm certainly not allergic to earning an income, but when it's the central focus, which it has to be for a large corporation, then the wrong lines tend to get real blurry real quick as the boss's collective feet are held to the fire. I've seen it too many times. An upstanding, respectable person ignoring his values, bending his ethics, and exhausting his moral gas tank just to aid the bottom line. I know because I did it myself in my corporate days of yesteryear. That's why I left. Bending one's principle in the name of profit or capitalism is not celebrating the true nature of capitalism at all. A small business or individual, however, can earn money while their main focus is on something more rewarding, be it creating, innovating, growing, or cultivating a passion. So yes, I'm wary of corporations, but I'm heartily supportive of the people who work for them to feed their families. Not Hereditary, by Joshua Fields Millburn. I have a confession. I am not a natural writer. I'm more of a natural basketball player than I am a writer. Another confession? I didn't read my first book until I was 21. No, that's not a typo. I was 21 years old when I read my first book cover to cover, a pop trash thriller. On the other hand, I was 6 foot 2 inches in 8th grade, and thus basketball seemed pretty natural at the time. As time marched on and I stopped getting taller and my dribbling skills stopped improving, basketball became less and less natural. Years later, I discovered literary fiction at age 22, and I knew I wanted to take part in its creation. I knew I wanted to be a part of literature's exchange of consciousness. I knew I wanted to be a writer. There was just one problem. My writing sucked. I didn't know anything, not a thing, about mechanics, usage, grammar, or spelling. I could hardly cobble together a coherent independent clause, let alone a sentence that felt urgent, interesting, or vaguely alive. Although I wasn't gifted with a congenital writing quill, I soldiered on. I kept writing, letting most of the words hit the wastebasket shortly after they dribbled from my keyboard. As I persisted in my studies and practice of the craft, guess what? I got better. And while practice didn't make perfect, it allowed me to grow considerably. Later, my growth snowballed, and now, a decade after reading my first book, I've published several bestsellers. Writing was never natural for me. Most things in life aren't innate. Individual betterment has little to do with inbred talent. I try to pound this fact into my writing students' noggins every chance I get. Any teacher worth his chalk dust can teach techniques that will help you grow, but individual betterment requires practice and dedication and, to a certain extent, a healthy obsession. And hence, this essay is not about writing, and it's certainly not about me. This essay is about you, so take note. Many people like you and me, want to do something different with their lives. I know I did. But most of these people think their would-be actions are futile because they weren't born with natural talent. These folks feel helpless or defeated, so they never take the first steps, and they certainly don't dedicate the hours required to develop real talent. Life doesn't work this way. For any dimension of life, for any skill set, be it exercise, ballroom dancing, or guitar playing, you must be willing to drudge through the drudgery to find the joy on the other side. Before a man can even think about being a rock star, he must earn the calluses on his fingertips. To do this effectively, you must find ways to make the menial work more fun. After much practice, many hours of practice, whatever you're doing eventually feels like second nature, which is better in countless ways. Second nature always feels more earned, more honest, more real. Course correction. Pencils have erasers for a reason. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone makes bad decisions. To err is human. Therefore, one of the most important skills we can develop is course correction. It's direly important to understand when a mistake is a mistake, to learn from our indiscretions, and then to change course and move forward a better person. Life is a test, and sometimes we pick the wrong answer. No big deal, right? Unfortunately, we often pick the same wrong answer over and over, avoiding any other possible outcome, and therefore avoiding the correct answer. It's strange. We wouldn't have done this with our old schoolroom tests. We never filled in the answer bubble on our Scantron sheet just to erase it and fill in the same bubble again and again and again. In real life, we do this all the time. We mess up and then take the same path, which leads to the same failure. And then we do it again and again and again. To make things more complicated, life's answers change as we get older. Therefore, yesterday's right answer may not be today's right answer. To live an enriched, fulfilled life, one must hone his ability to course correct. If you can intelligently assess where you are, where you're headed, and make the necessary tweaks to move forward, then you'll be just fine. But if you keep filling in the same bubble, you're in for a world of bad marks. You just listened to an excerpt from the audiobook Essential Essays by the Minimalists by Joshua Fields Millburn and Ryan Nicodemus. And I have them to thank for giving me that opportunity. It was a lot of work to narrate 3 of their books, but totally worth it in the end. And you can get any of their books completely for free and keep it if you start a trial with Audible through my link. That's oldpodcast.com/free. I'll have it in this episode's description and at oldpodcast.com. You can cancel the trial after 1 month, and in that case, it won't cost you anything, and you get to keep whatever audiobook you chose. It can be anything you want, but of course, I'll recommend any of the Minimalist books since you probably enjoy that kind of content and since I narrated them. Again, the link is oldpodcast.com/free. I'll leave it there for today. Tomorrow I'll be back narrating live, this time from Angel of Mark and Angel. So I'll see you in the Friday show tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.
Hey, this is Dan from the Optimal Finance Daily podcast, which is a lot like this show, except more focused on personal finance. Justin handpicks the best posts he can find from blogs and authors like Ramit Sethi, Mr. Money Mustache, and more, and I read them to you 5 days a week. So if you enjoy this podcast, come on over and subscribe to Optimal Finance Daily too. And together, we'll optimize your financial life.
You've been listening to Optimal Living Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode and head to oldpodcast.com. That's OLDpodcast.com for a free gift as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.